Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a great week so far. I am thankful that it is Thursday. Like I said in my post this morning, it is a puffy vest and coffee kind of day. I ended up sleeping in this morning. The time change has really affected my energy levels. I am exhausted by the end of the day. So I've been going to bed early, getting plenty of sleep. And I have a race tomorrow, so that's good. So I'm taking the day off today, which it drives me crazy when my step count is really low. So that I'm trying not to obsess over it, but I do have a race tomorrow, so I'm trying to rest as much as possible. But anyway, we are going to chat today all about carb cycling for runners. We're just going to focus on the carb cycling aspect today. If you missed my video a couple weeks ago, I talked all about how to incorporate intermittent fasting in your training. I enjoy the intermittent fasting part way more than the carb cycling part, I have to admit that. But I really believe that the two combined are a perfect combination and perfect for runners who are looking to have more energy, to get their nutrition in check, and to start running faster. So for those of you who are here live, I would love to know that you're here. Go ahead and say hi in the comments. But if you are catching the replay, my name is Kristen. I am the running coach and blogger at The Concrete Runner. My goal is to help runners get faster and gain confidence through quality running workouts, high intensity interval training, and balanced nutrition that incorporates carb cycling and intermittent fasting. I truly believe that this combination is dynamite for runners and can really help them see a huge amount of progress in their running. And because they've seen that progress and they've learned discipline and dedication through direction, they are able to gain confidence not only in their running, but in their life as well. So let's get into it. And sorry, my notes are over here, so I remember what I'm saying. And actually, I am going to go ahead and share this with, I'm going to move that a little bit, with my group. This always takes a minute. I'm going to go ahead and share this with my group. Nope, that's not what I want. So if you're not in my group, we are the Badass Running Buddies. I said Badass Bunnies. Badass Running Buddies community. Feel free to join us. And I will comment that in here as well. Group/Badass Running Buddies. I would love to have you join us in our group. So if you are catching me live, make sure that you say hello. I would love to chat with you. So let's chat about carb cycling and what it is and what it isn't. First of all, it is absolutely not a high protein, low carb diet. I'm not asking you to cut pizza and bagels and pasta out of your diet, because I know for me, pizza is my favorite meal. If I could eat one thing for the rest of my life, it would by far be pizza. I love it. I'm not asking you to stop eating pizza. I'm not asking you to stop eating pasta or anything like that. What carb cycling is all about limiting your carbohydrates. And it's amazing that a lot of runners don't know this, but it's actually kind of important and something that some of you might have practiced before. If you have trained for a marathon before and you have practiced carbo loading before your race, you have technically practiced carb cycling, because what you do when you carbo load is that you limit the amount of carbohydrates you take if you practiced it correctly. A lot of people don't know this part of it. With carbo loading, you limit the amount of carbohydrates you have the week prior to the race for 3 or 4 days leading up to the race. So let's say your race is on Sunday. The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before that, you are going to eat a lot less calories, a lot less carbohydrates than you would normally. So you're going to limit your carbohydrate intake the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday leading up to a race that would be on Sunday. Then you are going to eat your normal amount of carbohydrates Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday, maybe a little bit more on Saturday. And then your race is on Sunday. So that's going to allow your body to utilize that carbohydrate intake a lot better when it comes to your race on Sunday. Now, with carb cycling, it's a little bit different with how that works. So In carb cycling, you are intentionally limiting the amount of carbohydrates you eat 1 or 2 days a week for runners. Some people do this more often if you have a goal of weight loss, or if you're not a runner, you might do this a little bit more often. But for runners, I really think that 1 to 2 days is perfect. But you are limiting the amount of carbohydrates you eat on those 1 to 2 days. So why? Yes, this is Wally. He was a gift from a friend. There's also, you can't see that, but there's like a Barbie on his shoulder too. So this is what happens when you teach middle school. You end up with very cool skeletons. I feel like he needs to have like my medals on him and like a race bib on him too. But yeah, he might have overdone it a little bit. But yeah, he's my skeleton. He's pretty fun. And so I like to have him in the shot, because I really have nothing else nice to look at in my office. So there's Wally. So with carb cycling, you are limiting the amount of carbohydrates you eat 1 to 2 days a week. You do not need to do it more than that as a runner. Like I said, you can do that more if you are trying to lose weight, or maybe you're not running as often. You can do it a little bit more. But really the 1 to 2 days a week is key for a runner. I typically do at least 1 day a week, if not 2. It just kind of depends on what's going on. For me, I have a race tomorrow, so typically Thursdays would be a low carb day for me, but because I have a race tomorrow, I am doing a regular calorie day. So what this does, when you are limiting that carbohydrate intake, your body needs to rely more on your fat stores in order to fuel your running. So carbohydrates are really important with running, because that is our main source of fuel when it comes to exercise. Our body wants to utilize our glycogen stores, which come from carbohydrates, because carbohydrates change into glucose, which is stored as glycogen in our body. And that is our main source of fuel. Think of like gas for your car. Carbohydrates are the gas for your car. So you're going like, okay, so I need carbohydrates, but you don't want me to have carbohydrates. So how am I going to run? Because I don't have any fuel in my body. Well, you have stores. You have 2,000 calories of glycogen stores in your body. So what carb cycling does, it is forcing your body to not rely so much on those glycogen stores, but to rely on your fat stores more. So that means that you are burning more fat instead of using all those glycogen stores. So you're seeing where I'm going with this a little bit. So the good thing about using fat stores more is because we have an abundant amount of fat stores in our body. Hopefully you realize that. You don't have to be fat to have a lot of fat. Like, everybody has fat. That's okay. It's perfectly normal. It's something that you absolutely need to live. So you have to have those fat stores. And by utilizing those fat stores more, we have a lot more of those in our body. We are able to run harder for a longer period of time. So this is where like the marathon and the bonking thing comes in. If we know that we only have 2,000 calories worth of glycogen stores in our body, and we burn about 100 calories per mile, if we run 20 miles, we are burning 2,000 calories. We only have 2,000 calories of glycogen stores. So this is where with marathoners, it's really important that you are getting carbohydrates in during your running. But if you're practicing that carb cycling, your body's learning how to use those fat stores and not rely so much on those glycogen stores. So that's really important for runners, and a lot of runners don't realize that. So focusing on learning how to use those fat stores more than those glycogen stores is going to be really important, and it's going to help you be able to run harder for longer. So if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I will get back to you if you're not watching this live. If you're catching the replay, feel free to leave comments. I will get back to them as soon as I can about why to do it. But if you want to know how to start incorporating it, I highly suggest starting with 1 day per week. 1 day per week is really all you need to start seeing that benefit. And I would do it on either a strength training day or an easy run day. So with a low carb day, you are going to eat 20% of your calories from carbohydrates. Typically on a regular calorie day, for a lot of runners, it's probably going to be closer to the 60% range, but most runners are going to be like around the 50%, 50 to 60% on a normal day. The amount of calories you eat are going to come from carbohydrates. On a low carb day, you are going to eat only 20% of your calories from carbohydrates. And so we do this by calculating macros instead of calculating calories so much. We're looking at how many grams of carbohydrates we're eating instead of the amount of calories we're eating. So that's why if you've heard a lot about macros and macro counting and Whole30 and all day fat burning diet, like that's a lot of things. If you're interested more in the carb cycling part of it or the intermittent fasting part of it, the all day fat burning diet is a dynamite book to read. I'd highly, highly, highly recommend it. But one low carb day a week to start. See how you feel. And you're going to notice a difference if you go run the next day. I promise you. Not in a good way. You're going to be like, I have no energy because your body hasn't learned it yet. So it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. When I first started doing it, oh my gosh, over a year and a half ago, like I would do a low carb day and the next day I'd go for an easy run. And I'm like, oh my God, I have no energy. That's perfectly normal. Your body is still learning how to rely more on fat than it is on the glycogen store. So that's perfectly normal. But you're trying to eat less than 20% of your calories from carbohydrates. So then the other days you're going to do 50 to 60%. I like the 50% range, and then doing 25% protein, 25% fat as your macro goals for your regular calorie days. So I hope that helps. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. So if you are interested in learning how to start incorporating that a little bit more, or you need a little bit more guidance with that, I have a 6-week elite running academy that incorporates that exact strategy into your running program. So it's a 6-week program. You get quality running workouts, you get high intensity interval training workouts, and you get the nutrition guidance that you would need and how to incorporate it in those workouts. So you have a group that you'd be a part of that you can ask any questions. So if there's a day where you're like, I don't understand my macro counts, like, can you help me with this? You can post in the group and I can get back to you, or one of the girls in the group can help as well. So I would love to have you in that group if you have questions. Let me go ahead and post the link. Let me see if I can remember it. But I would love to have you in that group. It's a 6-week program, and it gives you everything that you need to start incorporating those nutrition strategies into your diet and to help you see and get results fast. So I'm a big believer on helping you get faster. That is my goal for my runners, because I know that when you see how much you can progress as a runner with your dedication, that you gain confidence. And I'm all about seeing my runners gain confidence. Thanks, Kristen. Kristen has gone through it. She's amazing. She is one of my favorite runners. And she has seen so much improvement over it's almost been a year. I think you did the February program, so it's been a while, but now it's an ongoing program, so you can join at any time and be in that group and get benefits out of it. So again, let me know if you have any questions, or I would love to have you join the program. So have a great one, guys. Bye.